Hi, my name is Lynn, and I'm a perfectionist. I'm actually a recovering perfectionist. And before I tell you about how papercrafts changed my life, um, I first want to thank Justine from House of Mahalo and Mandy over at Sunflowers and Doors for inviting me to be part of their collaboration. Hashtag May You Be Inspired By. And if you're not already part of their Facebook group, they are the co-founders of Junk Journal Ideas and Inspiration. I mentioned I'm recovering. I started making cards back in June of 18. And as we all know, making cards is pretty much the gateway habit uh, that leads to much more serious addictions, such as junk journaling. Along the way, I also discovered 3D paper projects, and it's still part of my heart. I love them. But I also really enjoy junk journaling. It's very freeing and fun. Um, so I'll get to that. Most of you are unaware that I have some chronic illnesses and suffer from chronic pain, mobility issues, sometimes even brain fog or cognitive challenges. I was unable to work for several years when I discovered card making. I bought myself a Cricut, and it just made my cards look so good. And on a Facebook group, I happened to see a 3D project, or a couple of them, and a few names that were tossed around, Dreaming Tree and SVG Cuts specifically. Once I started that, I was hooked. I mean, there was no way around it. You feel so productive when you're making something like that. And you know, many of us are A-type personalities. We like things precise and professional. And I had been very successful in the business world. So not being able to work really kind of pounded me down. Um, I didn't feel productive. I didn't feel as though I was accomplishing anything or had any purpose. And depression and anxiety can really be amplified, you know, when you're feeling like that. I knew I needed an activity that I could do when I could do it, meaning when my body allows, for the amount of time my body allows, um, without a lot of pressure or deadlines. I also needed a tangible result, a positive outcome, something I could look at and say, I did that. I also have been in leadership for so many years within business. I had a need to mentor or lift others up, not just, do my own thing. Um, and that's where Facebook has come in, as far as, Facebook groups and being able to do tutorials and teach on YouTube. It's also very funny that I feel like, you know what, you really can teach an old crafter new tricks. I found exactly what I was looking for when I started playing with paper and glue. And I say that as the activity itself, as well as the name that I use, my moniker. It's helped me focus on something other than my pain. It's calming, it's stress-free and rewarding if you let it be. So if I were to let my perfectionist tendencies continue, I think I would be really frustrated and kind of freaked out. Letting go and keeping a mindset of fun allows experimentation without anticipation or expectations of success or failure. I have a couple of mantras, and if you've watched my videos before, you probably have heard these. My first is strive for excellence, not perfection. And along with that, do your best, be your best. And that means right now in this moment, what the best you can be. So it could be different from yesterday, it could be different from an hour ago, but you have to know within yourself that you are doing the best you can right now. My second one is leave your ego at the door. And what I mean by that is be willing to learn, ask questions, um, get advice, get help, be inspired, and don't compare yourself or your paper play to anyone else. Yes, you can learn from others, and you might even teach others, which is extremely rewarding. Those with more experience are not better than those without. They've just done it more or done it longer or have a gift. And that's all good for them. But find your own gifts, find your own strengths, and give your best effort. When I say also be inspired by other people, if you post a project that you know you were able to do because you saw it somewhere else, right? You were inspired by another artist. Um, and I feel very strongly that we should cite that, inspired by Jen's arty inclinations. Of course, I'll choose Jen because she's one of my absolute best buddies. Um, but give that little nod wherever it is within your post, verbally, in the description, or somewhere. And if your memory's not that great and you can't remember from where you saw it, then keep a little notebook with ideas that you see on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Jot down that name of the person. That way you can attribute that maker when you share your own. And I'm pretty sure you can find a little book to write in somewhere, right? And number 4, don't be afraid of making mistakes, because just like there's no such thing as perfection in art and possibly life, there's no mistakes in art. If you don't like it, either fix it, ditch it, or roll with it. You can always come back to it at another time. Maybe you've learned another little way to do something, and you can go back and change that project up. But don't let it eat at you. Don't get frustrated. Just be open. Okay. All right. I want to recap. But I forgot to tell you something very important. What I wanted to say is we have one of the best communities on this earth. We're able to chat with folks halfway around the world, which is astonishing. Um, and we are inspired by, learn from, share with, all the things I mentioned, with other giving, loving, nurturing people. And that is so awesome, because let's face it, there's a lot of negativity in the world, but we say no to that. We say yes to positivity. Okay, now I'm going to recap. Enjoy the ride. Play and have fun. Don't use the P word. No such thing as perfection. Improve your health. And make cool stuff. Okay, I again want to thank Mandy and Justine for hosting this collaboration. It's been a lot of fun to see the face behind the voice and hear the various stories. And I also want to thank you for watching. hopefully liking and maybe even subscribing to my channel. I will see you again while we're playing with paper and glue.